Good afternoon. I'm Assistant Sheriff Jamie Prosser with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, and I'm here to provide additional details of an officer-involved shooting which occurred on Friday, May 16th, 2025. This is the third officer-involved shooting this year and the third fatal. At this same time in 2024, we had 3 officer-involved shootings, and all 3 were fatal. This event was reported as a shooting in the 700 block of North Rainbow Boulevard at approximately 1:34 p.m. You can see the scene to my left. The officers involved in this incident are Officer Cade Urban. He is 29 years old and has been with the LVMPD since 2020. Officer Urban was armed with a BCM .223 caliber rifle, and the investigation revealed he fired 4 rounds. The second officer is Officer Skeeter Black. He is 44 years old and has been with the LVMPD since 2015. Officer Black was armed with a Daniel Defense DDM-4 .223 caliber rifle, and the investigation revealed he fired 1 round. The third officer is Officer Aaron Javier. He is 37 years old and has been with the LVMPD since 2016. Officer Javier was armed with a Smith & Wesson M&P 15 .223 caliber rifle. The investigation revealed he fired 1 round. All 3 officers are assigned to the Community Safety Division, Bolden Area Command. The suspect has been identified as Daniel Ortega. He was 34 years old, 5 foot 11 inches tall, and weighed 180 pounds. Ortega was armed with an Olympic Arms PCR .223 caliber rifle. You can see the picture of the rifle on the screen. The investigation revealed he fired 24 rounds during this incident. The following are Ortega's charges had he survived: 1 count of murder with a deadly weapon, 3 counts of attempt murder, 3 counts of assault with a deadly weapon on a protected person, and 5 counts of assault with a deadly weapon. The details of this event are as follows. On May 16th, 2025, at 1:33 p.m., Daniel Ortega arrived at the Las Vegas Athletic Club located in the 1700 block of North Rainbow Boulevard. He was armed with a rifle when he walked into the gym. The suspect walked past several people leaving the business and approached an employee working the front desk. Ortega then started to pace around the front desk area while several other individuals left the business. A second employee approached Ortega, and the 2 briefly exchanged words. The employee fled when the gunman raised his rifle and started shooting, striking the employee. The suspect followed the employee deeper into the business and continued to fire rounds. The assailant then made his way back to the front lobby where he continued firing rounds. At some point, his weapon malfunctioned. We will now play video of Ortega arriving. At approximately 1:34 p.m., LVMPD Communications received multiple calls that a male was armed and shooting inside the Las Vegas Athletic Club on North Rainbow. We will now play the 911 audio.
911 emergency, Moreno Ceballos 20211. Do you need police, fire, or medical?
Police.
To what address?
The Las Vegas Athletic Club.
Which one?
Northwest, the one by Rainbow.
Okay, what's going on there?
Yeah, I think I saw someone come in with an AR.
Come into the Las Vegas Athletic Club?
Yes.
How many minutes
Yes.
ago did you see that?
Just right now.
So 1 minute ago?
Yeah, like right now.
What color gun was it?
It was a black.
Okay. And you're pretty certain it was? Was he by himself?
Yes, I think there's shots.
911 emergency. Fire or medical? Hello, can you hear me? Hello? Hello, anyone there? Hello?
Were immediately dispatched, and at 1:39 p.m., Black and Urban arrived at the business. All three officers deployed their patrol rifles and approached the front doors. Officer Javier observed the gunman by the front doors, armed with a rifle, and fired a round through the window at the suspect. Shortly after, the suspect exited the business, still armed with the rifle, and ran past officers. Officer Urban fired 4 rounds, and Officer Black fired 1 round, striking Ortega. All the suspect into custody and began providing life-saving measures. Medical personnel arrived and transported him to UMC Hospital, where he was pronounced deceased. We will now play video of the suspect leaving the business. This is after the shots had been fired and he had had a malfunction. The suspect is seen throwing a set of car keys while he paces back and forth, routinely looking out the front window. You'll see him take his wallet out of his back pocket and also toss that down on the floor. We presume that when he opens this door is when our officers first see him, when Officer Javier fires the first round. And then he exits the other set of doors. We will now play body-worn camera video from all 3 officers.
34, we got 2 rifles deployed. Those 4 people are still inside. Still inside. Scared, take cover, he's coming out. Okay, right there. Hey! Okay, I see him, One's coming out. Yeah, copy, suspect coming out. Get cover. Yes, he hit the front door. I don't have a shot. See him in the entrance. 1 WMA, all black clothing with the rifle.
Copy.
You got a key to the door? Okay. Hey! He's right there by the fucking door. Shots fired. That was 2 William 34. Still moving. He's moving! Hey. I don't see him. Okay, that's the entrance. Get some fucking cover. I've got cover, don't worry. The doors, dude. Hey, we gotta push in, dude. He's right there by the fucking door. No. Is he still inside? Is he inside? bathroom? There's women in the bathroom. You need to get to that bathroom. He went that way with a long range rifle. Okay. Okay, right there. Hey. Okay, I see him. I see the. Get cover. Yes, he is the front door. I don't have a shot. Okay, yeah, he's at the entrance. Cade, get some fucking cover. He's barricading the door? Okay. Okay. He's right there by the fucking door. You don't have a shot. Is that you, Kate? Is that you?
And here's a slow motion video with the still shot of Ortega holding the rifle as he exits. As additional officers arrived, action teams were formed and entered the business. Officers located 3 individuals suffering from apparent gunshot wounds. Medical pronounced 1 individual deceased on scene and transported the other 2. And during the investigation, it was discovered that another individual had self-transported to an area hospital with non-life-threatening injury. Before I take any questions, I do want to remind you that this 72-hour briefing is to tell you the facts as we know them now. We're aware that there's speculation as to motive. However, this is still an active and ongoing investigation, and at this time, we cannot confirm the suspect's intent. So, questions? Yes.
How many rounds actually?
I would have to check with our investigators to get you an actual number of rounds.
What time was it?
Say,
Like the video we just watched, what time was that at? The initial shooting was at 1:35 and then...
and our officers arrived on scene at 1:39.
Did this go off as it's supposed to in terms of officers responding to shots fired in such a big building like that, a busy place? Did it happen as it should have unfolded?
Yes, unfortunately, it did come out as an active shooter inside the gym. Our officers, numerous officers from around the valley were responding. Fortunately, this gentleman had a malfunction in his weapon, which actually saved this from being a mass casualty event. Our officers arrived as he was not currently shooting. If he had been, then they would have pushed through those doors and gone through that gym until they engaged him. But when they came up to that window, as you could see, they saw him right inside the window, and our one officer was able to attempt to take a shot.
So do you believe that he was going to shoot other people?
The suspect was, the suspect had on his person multiple magazines with more ammunition. However, due to the malfunction in his weapon, he could not utilize it any further.
Do you know if the suspect went to the gym anytime that day, anytime that week, or if he was even a member?
I do know that the suspect was actually a member of LVAC and did work out at that gym. I can tell you from the investigation as of right now, there is no connection between the victim and the suspect.
And you mentioned that he walked up to the front desk. Do you know if there was any argument that was exchanged between the workers and him?
There was not an argument. Yes.
During this investigation, have you guys found anything, any manifestos or anything detailing that he had intent to go and shoot that person?
At this time, we have nothing connecting the two. Obviously, this is still ongoing, and we still have more phases of this investigation to complete. But as of right now, there is absolutely no evidence that there is a connection between them.
Are you still looking for witnesses to talk to if they need to call in or?
Absolutely. If anyone has any information, please give us a call. Thank you. Have a good day.